Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is the second speed build video for my project Evergreen Harbour. Now a quick disclaimer before I proceed on with my voiceover. This is going to be a shorter than usual video because I completely forgot to press record while I was decorating the interiors, and I didn't realize until I was nearly 2 hours in. So if you see that there's a huge jump from what it looks like, because there's going to be a scene where I'm decorating the interior and it's still a bit bare, and it will jump to a scene where I'm almost completely finished and I'm going on decorating the exterior. That's what happened. Anywho's, so my build. We are actually, would I say renovate? Maybe this is my version of the Caboose, but I've actually named it the Caboose Bar. Now, the original description of this build was that it was an old train station, and that's obviously where I got the idea from. So I still wanted it to look like a train station. So yes, we are still in Port Promise, and the description, I've actually changed it. So in my head and for storyline purposes, I said that originally this was one of the main train stations connecting Port Promise to its neighboring areas, and it has now become a popular bar for the residents of Port Promise, and that though it has been renovated, it still remains its original exterior and some of its interior. So I've actually decided to kind of include the original ticket booths and the original train cart, and they've also upcycled, but I said upcycled, a part of the clock and the ceiling beams as well, so you could still see it, and I wanted it to remain in the build. And basically they are a nod to the build's historical purpose and significance. But you know, the residents of Port Promise and maybe even Evergreen Harbour, they can grab a drink or two, and they can also have a chat or listen to local performances. So that is my main description of this particular bar. And my original idea was that I actually wanted it to be an underground bar, and I still wanted to include like a subway. So I wanted to create the appearance of the subway, but obviously it no longer works. And so originally this bar was underground, and I've set up the exterior, well, not really the exterior, some of the exterior, and I've also worked on the interior. But while I was working through it, while I was building it, do you ever feel like it just doesn't feel right? And it felt very claustrophobic to me, and so what I decided was like, okay, because I was building it at night, and I thought, okay, I'll come back to it with fresh eyes the next day, and I did, and I completely scrapped the whole thing. And I actually tried to do it again, like the underground bar, and I thought maybe I can change up the interiors and make it look more inviting, because it would still look inviting, because despite it being an underground bar, I had the window, the ceiling, what am I trying to say? The roof, like it had the windows for it, so you could still see the outside, but it really just wasn't working. So obviously this is what I've decided to do, and I actually really like it. It's very simple, and I think it really fits the environment. And you will also notice how I actually do not put a lot of trees or anything like that in the for landscaping, because I thought, because it's an industrial area and just because of the atmosphere as well, I thought that not a lot of trees would benefit from growing in this particular area. So but yeah, so that's the exterior part, and obviously, like I said, I still wanted, let's say, one of the original train carts back in the day to actually be there, like they preserved it, and it acts as a, like what I said, a nod to what this bar used to be. And it was a train station that connected it to its to the other two areas of Evergreen Harbour. And I just really liked the glass roof as well. I think it adds so much light into the build, and just the fact that I actually even made the ticket booths as well. Now, because for the bar it really doesn't have like what the restaurants in Sims would have, and you know, maybe you could pretend in your storyline purposes that, you know, when they, you know, you could actually get this, have reservations. You can have the bar accept reservations because it's storyline purposes. It's in your imagination. So if you want to, you could pretend that the ticket booths act as a place where they make reservations, and maybe you've got a waiter there or something like that. But I just really liked how there is the ticket booths there, and of course there's toilets. There's 2 toilets there, and I've also made a mini staff room for the staff as well. And so you're actually seeing me decorate the actual bar itself. And I know that, I think it was from either, I think at Famous, where they've got that shelves of bottles of alcohol, and I originally put that in there, or originally I used it, but it just didn't really fit the vibe that this bar is going for. And so I thought, okay, why don't I use the barrels with the bottles of alcohol or juice or whatever, and I actually used that mini sculpture, that wall decoration with the pipes, and I used tulle to kind of used another pipe decoration and made it horizontal so that it looked like it connected all of the barrels together. So I don't know, that was just my idea, and I just really liked it. And of course I made a little area as well where the residents can either listen to local performances, and so there's a DJ booth there, as well as for anyone who just wants to, you know, to just jam, basically, either with their guitar or violin or whatever. And then in my head, when I was making this little area here, I thought the TV maybe used to serve as where the residents can see the times of when the trains will be coming. I know it looks a little bit modern, but maybe the train station stopped being a train station maybe 20 years ago, and so hence the modern-ish TVs in there. And so that's the huge jump. That is the huge jump there. I imagine that some of the billboards that I've actually put on the front of the train station as well as the side, it has different advertisements. And I liked how the actual platform itself, I've made it into a little diner area. And so you've got an interior and exterior bar, basically. And yeah, so I did enjoy making this build, and I've had this idea for quite some time now, but I wasn't really rushing myself into creating a build because I wanted it to be at a time where I'm in the mood to actually build, and this is the result. So hopefully you've enjoyed this speed build, and I do apologize that it's so short and that there's a huge jump. And you will see some screenshots towards the end, so make sure to check those out. And if you haven't already, please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. The build should also be in the gallery by the time that this video comes up, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!